According to the Monetary Policies Report we are discussing today, quote, new construction, home sales, and residential improvements have all been well above pre-pandemic levels, and demand has outpaced supply as construction has been limited by material shortages and sales have been constrained by low inventories, unquote. So demand for housing clearly outweighs the supply of housing. Chair Powell, you've said that this is a problem for first-time home buyers for sure. Can you elaborate on what you meant by that? Chair Powell, will you unmute?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. So housing prices are moving up across the country at a high rate. And I suppose the good news is that this is not driven by the kind of reckless, irresponsible lending that led to the housing bubble, that led to the last financial crisis. Those kinds of things are not happening, at least so far. Nonetheless, housing prices are moving up. And of course, that makes it more difficult for entry-level buyers to get into the housing market. So that is a concern. I will also point out, though, that a number of things are driving up housing prices. Certainly low rates are part of that. There are also changes in preference. People have wanted to move out of cities because of COVID into surrounding areas. So single family housing demand has been quite high. In addition, prices have been driven up by material shortages and things like that, which we would hope would be alleviated.
Okay, so Chairman Powell, a lack of supply and constraints around housing stock are a factor in the recent increase in housing costs. If the Fed were to raise interest rates, what do you project the impact would be on addressing housing supply challenges?
Well, it wouldn't have any effect on the supply side, as I think you're suggesting. There are limitations around the availability of some raw materials and of labor and of zoning and things like that, and nothing we can do can really affect that. It is true that interest rates are one factor that's supporting demand, but we really can't do much about the supply side.
Conversely, do you expect that increasing housing supply would help alleviate inflation?
I think housing, sure. I do think that more housing supply, if demand were to remain constant, would certainly imply that prices would stop going up as much as they have been.
The Great Recession was long, slow, and inequitable, in part because fiscal support provided by Congress was insufficient. And we left too much up to the Fed to stimulate the economy through low interest rates. I believe strongly that we cannot repeat that mistake. And as I look around at what is causing surging prices, I see a lot of places where more investment will help with long-term economic growth, especially more housing. Congress and the Biden administration have a job to do right now. It is for this reason I'm reintroducing my Housing is Infrastructure Act this week to ensure that Congress finally makes long overdue investments in the housing market. This bill would provide a historic investment of more than $600 billion to ensure that affordable housing is available all across the country. And so, as you know, I'm focused very much on housing, and I understand that there's a great need for affordable housing. As you know, homelessness is just increasing all over this country, and some cities have given up on even trying to control the camps that are popping up on sidewalks and under bridges. And so how important do you think investment in housing is to this economy?
Well, the housing industry is a big one, and the problem of affordable housing is a big one too, albeit it's one largely outside of the ambit of the Fed's responsibilities, but certainly a very important issue. And I think as you point out, the rise in homelessness in the face of a very strong recovery is actually evidence of the unevenness of the recovery. So, which is something we try to keep in mind as well.